Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max, episode 233, and I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me, as always, Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
Well, it feels like what's old is new again, as we have rising COVID cases here in Florida.
Meanwhile, ours are going down.
Maybe people are being smart, I don't know. Here it feels like everybody's decided, alright, let's just go crazy and not wear masks in places where you should have masks on, and we're having to threaten to close or maybe for people to get the picture.
You got one of those intelligent governors down there, don't you?
I mean...
No.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it's like, what state was it? I think I was hearing NPR this morning that said, like, in Los Angeles, they had gone and done a bar crawl, and half the bars were actually doing what they were supposed to do, and half of them were not.
That's
so it's like, you had to applaud the half the bars that were doing, and then, they told them, look, this is not a suggestion, we're gonna shut you down if you don't do what you're gonna do. So, that's good to know that yours are going down, but...
Yeah, I'm in like one of the two states that is going down. So.
But is that with like everything open though, or is there still stuff that's not open there?
There's still a lot of stuff not open, like barber shops or some stores aren't open, and malls are weird because like half the stores aren't open in a mall necessarily.
That probably helps a lot.
But like most people or it's like half and half. Some people are still wearing masks, some aren't. I returned bottles today. Our state has like a bottle return system, and it took 40 minutes to get inside the store.
Wow, really? 40 minutes?
I'm not kidding. There was like 7 people in front of me, and in the little bottle return room, there's like 6 machines that were supposed to be working, but only 2 work.
Well, that probably even slowed down the process. Plus, I'm sure that machines aren't socially distanced either.
No, they were. I mean,
okay.
That's one thing they were trying to do, but like the machines were only 2 were working, so.
Well, hey, I mean, at least it helps you buy Last of Us 2.
Yep. That's always fun, I guess.
That's the good thing. I did get a haircut, and I guess I'm one of those people, but, I seem to be okay.
Yeah.
They were being good, and everybody had masks on, and I don't know if the chairs were far enough apart if you really wanted to be realistic about it, but like, there's only 4 chairs in there. It's not like you had the whole room crowded with people. So
yeah, I think social distancing is kind of a fantasy at a certain point because it's like if you're wearing a mask, it should be fine.
Yeah, and like I try to be quiet and not talk to the barber that much, so he's not sitting there. I guess if something were to leap off his mask or whatever, but I think most of the time you hear about these cases going back up to people that are not masking or they're going to a bar and that seems to be the biggest case. I think they said the median, at least here, the median age out of the almost 4,000 cases that happen today is like 37 or something like that. So it's a lot of younger people that obviously, you get tired of being inside the house after a while.
Except if you're Jens and never leave his house again.
That's Jens. Yeah, it is what it is. But, hey, at least everything's been, peaceful with the protests. This is now, I guess, June 20th. Yesterday was Juneteenth, and this weekend's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And, my dad and, Grandpa and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about it. So how much have you played of Last of Us 2? Or...
Like 2 hours, maybe even probably less than that actually. The few observations I can make is it makes my PS4 sound like a jet. Like I actually got like it has an install disc and a play disc. Didn't Final Fantasy 7 have that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Like after it installed, I put in the play disc just for a second, to patch it up, and that took only a second because I already downloaded the patch. But then like my PS4 got so loud, I got scared. I was like, I had to like shut it off. I'm like, oh, and like playing it normally is like loud, but it didn't get that loud. Like,
it's that bad, huh?
Yeah, hopefully that PS5 is a little quieter.
Yeah, I'm sure on PS5 it'll be fine. They said that was more about. I think they said the reason why it sounds like a jet is due to cooling issues that the PS4 had. That's why the PS5 is so big.
Yeah, well, I took apart my PS4 a week or two ago to like clean up the fan, and it was like a little dusty in there. It wasn't that bad, but like you can further take it apart to like put thermal paste in the CPU and the GPU, and it's like I'm not going to do that because I will break this thing.
Yeah.
And that's a whole mess I don't want to get into. Yeah, it plays a lot like the first Last of Us. Some of the, you can like now listen for enemies, and you can also like listen for, it's like one of the accessibility options is listen for hunt for collectibles, which is goofy, but it works. And, the new playable character, I played as her once, her name's Abby. She looks almost like a dead ringer for Brie Larson, which I think is really funny.
Hey, that says a lot.
Well, it's funny because of all the like nerd rage about Brie Larson. So I like to think that was a conscious choice, or like just piss these idiots off even more. Because I know the game is getting like slammed on like game ranking, the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like because guys in their basements can't.
Well, it's getting slammed on Metacritic and slammed on everything.
Yeah.
It's people. It's like, at this point, I think we ought to just, other than Steam, maybe, like, just slam end-user reviews, because people just can't seem to, use it for what it's supposed to be used for, instead of just, like, let's take the time to waste everybody else's time and slam it for what? Nothing that has to do with the actual game itself. How can you, if you haven't played the game at all, how can you review bomb something that hasn't come out yet?
Yeah, and the game literally came out today, or
yeah.
Tonight. So
literally, yeah, it's been out for a day by the time you're listening to this, so, or a little bit longer. But it's like, again, if you don't have anything else better to do than review bomb something, then
have fun.
I don't know.
Yeah, get a life.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have Randy on.
Yeah, I think he's played more than I have for sure.
Yeah, to talk about it at a later time. Did Jens say if he's getting it or not? Or?
He's mired deep into Persona 5 Royal, so that's his game, which is good.
Well, speaking of Persona, Persona 4 did happen to get the release that we discussed, which is on the PC and Gaming Show. They released for $20, which was the actual surprise, because we both thought it would be a little bit more. And they probably could have at least released it for 30 or more, and people would have still bought it. Hey, how does it look? How does it play?
Actually, well, you say it's 20. I actually got the special edition, and it's like 25 for the stupid limited soundtrack sampler because I'm an idiot. It actually plays pretty well. It looks really nice. Like, it's really crisp. Like, you can tell it's kind of an older game, but it's not that old. And they did some like work on it. It looks like they tried to touch it up a little, so it looks good. My problem was, it has, I think, de novo DRM, and like, yeah, it was weird. Basically, I played up for like the past, I played into like the third day of like in the game, and the game crashed on me. Just like hard, like, it was like, game crash, sorry. And I was like, okay. And I was saving. So I loaded the game back up, hit load, put on my save game, and it crashed again. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't think my save is corrupted. Like, what's going on? And I tried it a few more times, and I eventually was like reading up, and I guess there's an option in the game that it's like network option where it will tell you what other people did during the day or like what they were doing, like hanging out with friends. Well, it's like Persona 5 did that also. It was like hang out with friends or go explore the dungeon or do all this other crap. If you turn that option off, then the game worked fine. And it's like, huh. And I turned it off, and my save game loaded fine, and it's been fine ever since. So it's like, what's going on? Like, why is this option causing my game to crash?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm up to the first boss in the dungeon. I got my butt kicked the first time, so I have to grind some. I realize now Persona 5 does a lot when it comes to like ease of use or like gameplay improvements.
Yeah. Persona 4 doesn't have that.
No, it still tries to do like having your friends like control themselves, like have the AI control your party members, and it's like, don't do that. Like, you want to have control of your party members, not just tell them, hey, go nuts or go, act freely. It's like, no, I want to tell you what to do.
But that's not something you can change in the options, right? Or...
Oh, it is, but I mean, even now it is. Like, Persona 3 didn't have that initially. Like, they just the AI just controlled your characters, and it's like, except for the main character. And it's like, this is a bad idea. Like, and then they fixed it, like, I think with either Fez or Persona 3 Portable. But after that, like, 4 rides that line a little, but then after that, like with 5, they're just like, no, we're not gonna do that crap anymore. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I had never played Persona 4. I actually just watched like the endurance run on some Giant Bomb back in the day. So playing it is a new experience for me.
Well, hey, I'm glad that you're not just replaying it again. It's like a new thing for you, so.
What else? Oh, the only other two games, I bought Concrete Genie about 2 weeks ago. That's interesting. I don't like the motion controls, but it's fun. And I got that Dead Island 2 alpha to play.
How is that as bad as you think?
No, it actually plays a lot like Dead Island. Like, they made a Dead Island 2. It's a buggy in spots. Like, at a mission, like, pick up this blueprint, and I picked it up, and, like, the mission wouldn't go past that. Like, it wouldn't, like, realize I picked up the blueprint. But, like, the actual combat is what you would expect, or, it's fine. Like, I don't know what the deal is, or what they're expecting Dead Island 2 to do. Like, it's not like Dead Island 1 was, like, a fresh, wholly original game. Like, this was fine. It didn't set the world on fire, but it was passable. Or it's what you would expect from a Dead Island 1 or Dead Island 2 should be,
Right.
I guess, Koch Media, like, nuked it off the planet or trying to nuke it off the internet, but it's already out there, so they'll never get it off completely.
Well, anything else you've been playing there?
I'm just buying DVDs. Like an idiot.
Well, there's always something.
Yeah.
At least it gives you more things to watch.
Yep. How about you? Nothing?
I've just been playing Xenoblade. That game I forgot how long that game is.
Yeah, that's another reason I've been avoiding it, because I don't want to get sucked in.
Well, it's not about getting sucked in, it's just like, I'm trying to review it, and I'm just like, well, I've kinda almost got to actually, I still have one world left. Well, I actually technically got past the Mechon, world. It's just like, the problem I had the first time was I was playing on the new 3DS, and God, that game is like super grindy. Like, I mean, it doesn't feel that way if you do all the side quests, but the side quests are also like seriously endless.
Yep.
In a given area, not too much you can go back to the other areas. So like, let's say you're done with an area technically, right? You did all the side quests that were available to you at the time when you were like pretty much done with the story, and then you go to another area and all of a sudden it opens up more side quests in that area you were just in before.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I mean, that's cool. Like, Like, I mean, it gives you things to do, but, you know, you never really feel like you're done. So if you're one of those, like, completionist people, sorry, but that's just probably not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it does help you in that actually completing side quests and going and finding landmarks and going and exploring are the things that actually get you more experience than, say, just battling over and over and over and over and over. Because once you get, it's very much like Pokemon. Like, once you get, or I guess almost any other RPG, once you get, like, over, like, 4 levels over the monsters that are around, the amount of experience you get is, like, pretty much absolutely pointless.
Yep.
You know? And so, you do need to do those side quests. And the thing is, though, the problem is, too, not that the reason why they do it is so that you don't get over-leveled really fast. But a lot of the side quests, like the ones where you kill all the monsters, those only give you money. So, like, the ones where you have to go find stuff, you know, find, like, the items, the little blue balls that are hidden around those are the ones that actually give you experience. Or the, where you have to go kill the unique monsters or whatever. So it's like, that's the problem too, of just, you know, certain ones don't even give you experience. So yes, I mean, you need that gold too, because, you need to buy those art books so you can level up the arts. But it's like, you know, I really just want to, like, level up. I don't want to sit here and, I remember in the Mechon place, I think, well, the thing was too, I think when I played on 3DS, I was trying to, like, just mainline. And that's a game you cannot just mainline that game. You're going to be so under level by the time you get to, the Mechon world or whatever, you're going to get destroyed. So, like, I've basically been trying to keep up with whatever the monsters are in the world I'm in. And I usually wind up being, like, 4 or 5 levels. By the time I'm in that next world, I'm usually, like, 4 or 5 levels above whatever they're at. And by the time I leave, I try to be 10 levels above so that I'm not having to, like, super grind. Because I think that's what got annoying for me, too. When I got to the Mechon world, I had to grind so much that by the time I got to the next thing, I was just like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I've gotten finally to the Valak Mountains, which is, like, the ice place for people that have actually played the game. So, yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. So I still got that whole world to go to, and then I think we finally get to the Mechon world order. But it's still cool, like, just enjoying that game with the new art style and everything, and it's really a crazy contrast when you get to, like, some of these cutscenes with some of the characters have the new art style and some of them don't, and it just looks weird. So.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully within the next week, I'll have the review done and I can get the other, I've still been playing a little bit of Shantae and a little bit of this Red Wings game that's like a flight, like dog fighting.
I thought it was a hockey game.
No, it's like oh god, you know that, Red Sky game, High Skies game for original Xbox?
Crimson.
Yeah, Crimson Skies. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's like the indie version, I guess, of that or whatever. So yeah, that's, me playing games there. So let's go ahead, I guess, and get to the main things of the show. To be honest, I was gonna have a topic of us talking about things that, like, really impress us from some of the other smaller shows, but maybe we'll do that for next week. So the next time we have a show will be Tuesday, which will be the same day as the New Game Expo. So we'll talk about all the stuff gets announced there. That's got a lot of Japanese developers, so that should be fun. And Atlas is supposed to be at that one too. So let's see if anything gets announced there. Like the supposed to be surprised, I wasn't a surprise PC gaming show. So one of the things I guess that was supposed to be announced, looks like on Monday. Got leaked early, which is a Crash Bandicoot 4 is in development. It's called It's About Time, and it's coming for PS4 and Xbox. Looks like the Switch will follow the same thing that's been happening, where it's coming out a year after.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, was it like the first brand new Crash game in
a decade?
How many years? Yeah, a decade at least.
Since the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't count that remastered version as a new game, so.
Well, it's not, so.
Yeah. I mean, they got, Crash was originally Naughty Dog, I think, and then they transferred over to,
Yeah, Naughty Dog.
They didn't go to Activision, they went to, they went to Activision, I think, but it was, Universal.
Yeah, Activision's the one that had them.
Well, it went to Universal, and then, Activision bought Universal, so that was, the weird trade. So, and then they made a few of those games, but they were all terrible. And, I mean, if it's Vicarious Visions doing it, it should be alright. I mean, they clearly know what they're doing, but...
It's Toys for Bob, the people that did the Spyro.
I'm okay, then. Also, I think it's weird because, I guess Crash Bandicoot 3 already dealt with time travel.
Yeah, the Warped.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll find out everything on Monday still, but the box art's been leaked and all that, so... And the original voice of Aku died as well.
What?
The original voice of the, Aku, or whatever his name is.
Okay. I thought you meant, the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the guy's name was David Siller.
So that's a bit sad news, but yeah. So, I mean, cool. I know people have been really waiting for the new Crash game.
Mel Winker.
Yeah, Mel Winker, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that, the rebooted one obviously sold well and reignited people's passions.
And the racing game sold well as well.
Yeah. I have a friend on PSN, her son, or her kids are playing, that Spyro remaster. Quite a bit, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that was more of it's easier for kids to pick up. Crash actually gets kind of difficult after a while.
Yeah.
But I guess the bigger thing is there is some other things that got announced a little bit earlier in the week, but let's just go ahead and go through the EA Play, which is the big, I guess, conference after the PlayStation 1. I mean, it's not going to equal getting introduced to a new system and everything, but this is EA's what would have been at E3, I guess. And
I'm glad it wasn't at E3 this year.
I will say, I mean, they didn't have anything oh my god, I need to go crazy over whatever EA is doing, but I thought it was really solid.
I actually think of the conferences I've seen, it was the worst one. Particularly the last bit. That's what really soured me, actually. Was
that the skate? I didn't watch the actual event like it is. I just saw all the trailers.
I mean, I was watching the giant bomb talking over it thing. And yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, so let's, I guess, just go over what they announced. It's not a whole lot. So it's not like, the PlayStation 1 where I think our talk about it was the same length as the actual Sony show. So they showed off that, for once, EA had already kind of revealed the big game, which was the Star Wars Squadrons previously. So then they showed an official gameplay trailer, which was good at showing you what you're going to be doing in single player, which that's what intrigues me. That looks really cool. The fact that you can play the whole game in VR, which those kind of games are fun in VR if you don't get nauseous, I guess. And the multiplayer stuff, which is a 5v5. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot of how you set up your squad, the loadouts, the different, TIE fighters and A-wings or X-wings or the Y-wing, whatever one you're going to use.
Yeah.
I like the fact you can play both factions in the single player, so that's cool too. How do you feel about it?
The single player reminded me of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. When you have the cops and the criminals, career paths that kind of intertwine. Personally, I don't really want to play multiplayer. That's kind of my issue.
Yeah, but you gotta have multiplayer in there because you gotta try to give the game some life or something
also,
like this.
my bigger issue though is, and I think they just like confirmed it today is there's no like third person view. It's all in the cockpit. And some of those cockpits look very not fun to play with, or like very like confined. Let's say that.
Yeah, I agree that that did look like very confined.
It's like, it looked like
that is kind of disappointing. I would have wanted to have the ability to do third person as well.
It looked like I think it was like one of the wing, might have been like the A wing or the Y wing. Like the cockpit looked like it took up like half the screen. It's like, how are you supposed to see out of this thing? You know,
I think that's the point. So you don't wonder about.
Yeah, but then having a third person view, that would take care of that instantly.
I mean, I wonder how much it really would have taken for them to do a third person view.
Yeah. I mean, it might be okay. I don't think I'm interested that much in it though, especially since like DICE is making it. I'm not a huge fan of whatever they do personally.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is going to be the game people are going to be, I think, most excited about, especially since it's the biggest game they showed, because their other big games, they kind of just show the sizzle reel.
Showed a Madden trailer, that's all you need to know.
I mean, Madden's the big game in sales and everything, but...
No, that's FIFA, actually.
Well, no, Madden sells really well here. It's just FIFA sells really well everywhere where the NFL is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer for Madden. It looks fine. I mean, I love playing as a defensive lineman, so the fact that the defensive lineman has its own, like, cool move stick is exciting for me, but I don't think I've played a new Madden in years, so I don't know. But when I did play Madden a lot, that's what I like to do, is play a defensive lineman on defense, and, offense, you just control or press the ball.
Yeah.
But, it looks like they've gone full circle with now the runner is getting their own, they're making running the highlight this year, so I guess we'll see how that goes. And you bet your bottom dollar FIFA is one of those unannounced games for Switch out of the 7 games for Switch that they're bringing, along with Apex Legends.
That Apex thing went on way too long. I mean...
Oh, it's one of their big things.
Yeah,
so.
I guess for people who are liked it, they were all excited, but I was just like, this is boring the shit out of me.
Yeah, I do agree. It probably did go on too long. I was like, wow, okay, this is taking a while. I mean, it also comes out really soon, June 23rd, so the Lost Treasures event. So that's probably why they spent a long time on it as well. It's what they were kind of building towards.
It's like the one game they have coming out this year, aside from Madden and FIFA.
I will give EA credit. It's for them to bring crossplay to all these games now, I mean, it's cool. Like, I think that's Apex Legends is now going to be playable on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Steam, Origin. I mean, it was no brainer they're bringing it to Steam with all the other games they're bringing to Steam. So, I mean, you don't have to do that. That kind of gives you an idea of, like, maybe we are going to finally see the walls get broken down next generation of...
That was one thing that actually interested me. Like, do you think Origin is done?
They seem to kind of admit that not everybody likes Origin, right?
Because, like the first, week or two of, EA games, Burnout and crap like that, I was like, okay, you can kind of see that. But then, it seems like damn near every one of their games now is coming to Steam, over the past week.
Yeah, I think they figured out, like Ubisoft, you don't need to have your own proprietary thing. You can have it, right? But you don't need to make it the thing.
When is Epic going to learn this? That's the bigger question.
Epic won't. They're doing fine with their exclusivity deals. So, right now they're giving people a whole platform. That's a lot different than EA just deciding to make their own launcher. It doesn't.
No, EA had that was a platform. They had other games on there.
I know, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, with the way EA is, where they're releasing 2 smaller games a year with all these other behemoth games that they come out with. I mean, it's not like...
Well, the problem for EA is, they only cared about... On the PC, they only cared about shooters and Sims. Madden, barely ever came to PC, along with all their other crap. FIFA never really did, and NHL used to, but they stopped for that for a while, and So yeah,
I think that's more of a licensing thing, and also like sports games are not big on those sports licenses. I don't think are big on having mods. So like,
neither Star Wars, but they put that out there. Like,
yeah, but that's built more for PC. I mean, like when you think of shooters, I think there's still a large group of people that still think of, oh, that's the PC. A PC is for shooters, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I mean, like you said, Sims is now coming out on Steam. So
it was really weird, that trailer, because they actually didn't introduce anything. They're just like, Sims is on Steam. It's like, shouldn't you announce like a new pack or something? Like,
I guess it's hard for them to make a pack right now.
Yeah.
What's going on? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, good for folks that need to have that on Steam. There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, you didn't watch the actual conference. I am increasingly not a fan of Greg Miller's jokes.
I'm a person that like really loves Greg, so.
I mean, he's fine as a person. I'm not gonna like disparage him that way, but like his like callbacks or like his like, you know, joking around, it's like, please stop, just move along with this, please.
Yeah, I think like.
Also, I think the bigger issue is like he didn't have anyone to play off of. It was just him, so that didn't help. Like if he had like someone to like actually talk to, that would have sorely been needed.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like on Kinda Funny, he doesn't really do anything by himself. So yeah. Everything he kind of does is with someone else. So not that he's hosted other things. Obviously, it's not like it's the first time he's doing that. But it's like, I don't know. It's weird.
If he was like the color man and like, you know, Jim Ross was there as the pitch man, or, you know, as the you know, straight man, that would have helped immensely.
Yeah, I still think Eddie Renee's the best at doing that kind of thing. Out of the, you know, that whole just squad of folks. I mean, she has her own thing with What's Good Games, and they do great stuff over there, but yeah, I wonder if that's it too with Greg. Is like everything he does now is with someone else. So It's like, I feel like it's like if you don't have that practice of, oh, now I'm hosting this thing with myself, I've got to make sure this all plays. And I think it's more difficult, right, when it's like, you know, it's digitally.
Yeah.
Instead of, you do have that sort of like crowd when it's actually at E3 to play off of, you know, that can more laugh at your jokes. So.
Yeah.
Obviously I guess the thing that he will probably be talking about aside from Star Wars is that Skate 4 is technically in development.
I hated that, whatever they did. I thought it was incredibly crass. I don't know about you.
That almost felt like people have been asking for it, so let's just tell them that this is in development.
No, that's one issue, but people have been asking for Skate 4 since 2013, you know, whenever.
Yeah.
Like, the bigger issue, the issue I actually have is they just announced like Tony Hawk, remastered, you know, 1 and 2, like, 2 months ago or a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
Like, it felt like such a naked, like, some EA guy sitting in a boardroom going, hey, people are excited for Tony Hawk. Let's bring back Skate 4.
Well, I mean, they did have a developer say that you commented this into existence. I mean, it's like, it's not like people have not been asking for this aside from Tony Hawk as well. I mean,
then they should have announced it 2 years ago. Like, that's
because they weren't doing it 2 years ago.
Well, why weren't they? I mean, that's the issue. Is like
because they didn't feel the need. I don't know. I mean,
people have been asking for Skate 4 for years. Like, the fact they just announced it 2 months after Tony Hawk, so like, and they didn't even show any. Like, they just announced like, we are starting to make it. It's not like, hey, the game's almost done.
That's why I told you. Like, this whole aura that it had was, you guys have been talking about it, so I guess we're fine. Maybe that is what it is, right? Like, they needed to see another skate game coming out to show that people actually care about skate games, right? Besides just the vocal minority internet crowd.
But then that is the epitome of being like crass and just not being a leader, being a follower.
Well, I mean, when you're a leader of everything else, and you don't really, it's not like they need Skate to.
But they're not. They're a leader of football, both of them, and that's about it.
Well, and that they have the Star Wars license.
Yeah, but that's not, aside from, that Jedi game that the third person one, I think, that has been doing great.
Battlefront 2 still sold well, and they've been doing a lot to make that game worth it for everybody with all the other packs and stuff. If anything, the good thing that came out of Battlefront 2 is that now EA comes out with games like Star Wars Squadrons, and you don't have to worry about, oh my god, there's loot boxes in there.
I'm just saying, I would not be saying this if they announced last year, hey, Skate 4's coming, you willed it into existence, congrats. But no, they did it 2 months after Tony Hawk got announced, and they're almost done with Tony Hawk. That game came out this year. For them to say, hey, Skate 4's coming 2 years from now, hopefully, it's fuck you. You should have done this 2 years ago, so then you could have actually led the market, or you actually shown some goodwill to your loyal fans of Skate.
Right, but if they really cared about those loyal fans, like you said, they would have made it a couple of years ago. So
that's why I'm not excited for Skate 4, because it's you're not passionate about this. You're just doing this as a naked business reason. It's why they keep pumping out those NBA games. It's that no one cares about.
Well, they haven't really been pumping them out. They keep saying they're going to make them, and they don't.
Yeah, I think this is going to be they didn't even announce a developer. They just announced that old hippie going hey, we're making Skate 4.
Yeah.
It's okay, who are you? I think he worked in the old Skate games, but I have no idea who that guy is. So I think his name was Cuz Cooper or something weird like that. It's okay, do you have a studio, or is it just you making this in your basement?
Oh, there's a studio. It's just, again, like you said, they just started making this literally, and everybody's having to do work from home right now, so.
Yeah. That's why I was pretty sour on this one. That in particular. No, that you don't get a pass anymore.
Yeah.
That Dicey game also didn't help matters that much.
I liked it. It's fine. It's their indie game.
It reminded me of, they pointed this out also, but it reminded me of American McGee. Specifically Alice, the first one that,
That's exactly what they're going for, is that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like those Alice games, so I'm down with it. Fee didn't do that well.
Right.
But the art style intrigues me a little bit. It kind of has that Corpse Bride, Tim Burton-ish feel as well.
Yep.
So it's called Lost in Random, and you play as Eve, a girl that also befriends a dice called Dicey. They really couldn't come up with a better name for that dice.
Nope.
And he's anthropomorphic and has arms and legs, and he kind of follows you around. So
it took EA's greatest minds to come up with Dicey.
It's one of those hey, what are you going to call it? Dicey? Okay, well,
that should be the new.
I guess it's stuck.
Should be the new mascot for Dice.
And also Joseph Fares' studio has Hazellight Studio has a new game called It Takes Two, and it's a co-op action adventure platformer that is going to blow your freaking mind, he says. And
I didn't play. Was it Way Out? That's the prison one.
Yeah.
I just know Jens played it. He didn't really like it, and it seemed like not a lot of other people did.
Yeah, it's a game that's definitely made for co-op. If you don't have a friend to play with.
He played it with co-op. He played co-op.
Oh, okay.
He's the story itself fell apart. Like Prison Break. After prison, the game becomes completely pointless.
This isn't the one where the premise sounds good, but we'll see if it actually holds up. Because there was just it seemed like a lot of ideas happening there with what he was saying, and we'll see. I don't give one iota personally about Rocket Arena, but
that looked not good.
It got changed. It used to be first person, it's now third person. EA kind of is handling it now under their Aegis studio. We'll see. It's gonna be having crossplay as well, so That's another thing too. EA kind of had a theme of we're trying to make things more open. We're trying to put things on Steam, more crossplay, more all that. So
you should watch the Giant Bomb review of them watching that stream, because Jeff gets immensely pissed about that game.
Why?
Because of the name Rocket Arena. Like he's like, why are you naming it after this Quake mod? Like, he's like almost shouting at the screen. I thought that game actually just bad. Like, I think it's like some Smash Brothers type game. It's like 3-on-3.
Yeah, 3-on-3.
It just looked.
It's a hero shooter.
Yeah, well, it looked cheap, or it just looked like a very naked. It just didn't look.
It's not.
I mean, why is EA putting it out? I mean,
yeah. I mean, it used to be a Final Strike Games thing, an indie studio, and then EA kind of took it over.
What they should do is make like an EA mascot shooter. If they want to go in that route, do that. Have it be like a guy from Dragon Age, Shepard from Mass Effect, and John Madden versus like an enemy team.
Maybe if they get desperate enough, I guess.
A car from Need for Speed and a car from Burnout.
Yeah, all the big games. People were expecting a Mass Effect remaster that did not get announced at all.
They showed 20 seconds of a Dragon Age looking thing, or just some dark forest.
To more showcase, this is next gen. I mean, some of that stuff looked cool, but yeah, I don't think that people really cared about that too much.
No. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Mass Effect, remastered, but hey, Mass Effect on Switch would have been nice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like it's in there, so it's getting made somewhere. I don't know what the thing is. I thought they teased it. I thought they had already announced, somebody had come out and said something about it.
No. They always do, those weird, skunkworks things. They're working on this, but never comes out.
Yeah.
It's what happened? If you've been working on it for 7 years or 5 years, what the hell is it taking so long? I think what you're thinking of is they kind of announced a KOTOR remastered, or they're thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I said, that'd be great. Do that. Fuck this flight game. Make that instead.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just they don't want unrealistic expectations for these games, and then they come out and they aren't what people expect. So they're gonna wait until they're more sure things before we do that, because you already have that with Dragon Quest.
Dragon Age.
Not Dragon Quest, Dragon Age. Jesus.
EA bought Dragon Quest.
It's Dragon Age and Anthem. I think ever since Anthem, they're kind of they were a little bit gun shy about, let's just announce these huge games far off.
Yeah, but then every game, aside from Madden, FIFA, and Apex, every game they announced at this thing was 2021 at the earliest.
Yeah, but I mean, two of them are small. We don't really.
Yeah, so two of them are small, but then most people won't play them or they won't care about them.
I mean, and you already had Skate that literally have nothing to show.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't want to have a huge show of nothing. I mean, because that's the thing too. Was it last year that Bethesda just had nameplates with Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6?
Yep.
And it's really? What in the world was that? What was the point of that? Now you're having to have Pete Hines on Twitter tell people don't even expect anything about either one of these games for a long time. It's why even announce it then? So
I think you said, in particular, it gets people off their back about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hey, you can always just go hey guys, we're working on Elder Scrolls 6. Leave us alone. Quit bugging us about Fallout 76 bullshit.
I agree, but I still think it's just I don't know. Sometimes you can announce something too far. I mean, like you said, this is why Skate really comes off as we're only announcing it because you guys wouldn't shut up about it, and because Tony Hawk came out or is going to come out and is made us realize that it's as if somebody would have come out with a new. It's the same reason why freaking Activision came out with a Guitar Hero when they did, and then it quickly just died. because they really didn't care that much about it. They just announced it so that they could, you know, have something to go against whatever Rock Band was doing. And, because Rock Band was going to have Rock Band 4, and it's just like, it's not like this is this is a different studio, but I mean...
The difference between a Guitar Hero Rock Band thing is, Guitar Hero is a vastly different game.
Yeah,
like, they didn't just crank out...
It's a different publisher, too, but yeah.
Well, they didn't just crank out Guitar Hero 6. They made a very different looking game. Like,
yeah. It just, the Spotify model didn't work for them.
Yeah, like the business system didn't work for them, and not enough people cared. Same with Rock Band, actually. I mean, say what you want. I mean, you liked it, but that wasn't.
No, it was not a good game, and it took them forever to make it the game that it should have been. But after people didn't care.
Like my point about Skate 4 is not them saying, "Hey, you guys willed it into existence." It was just like they announced it so quickly after Tony Hawk that it's like you don't have any.
If you're gonna have an event, I mean, you might as well announce it there. You're gonna wait 2 months later to announce it. I mean,
no, you're gonna wait until you have actual gameplay to announce it. Like, they didn't even call it Skate 4. They said a new Skate is coming.
They don't know if it's really gonna be Skate 4 or what it is. I mean, maybe they don't even know what the hell this, like you said, they don't even know what the hell this is gonna be. It's just
that Skate 3 mobile version.
So, yeah, I thought this was fine. Like, it was solid from the fact of, like, I like the direction EA is going into of being more open. Like, let's put stuff on Steam. Let's be more cross-play oriented. Let's, you know, I think that if we see more of these big publishers do that, I think that's good for the next generation. I think people are going to be upset about we're not getting these huge blockbuster games aside from the stuff you normally expect the sport. I'm glad they didn't spend 20 minutes on Madden and FIFA.
No, they spent that on Apex Legends.
But Apex Legends is their big thing right now. So, and I mean, it's like you're going to tell Epic not to spend time on Fortnite. So
the difference is like Epic only is making Fortnite. Like EA is making other shit.
I mean, but what other thing does EA really have right now?
Well, assuming they're working on a Dragon Age thing, they should have showed, like, at least a name for that thing.
Well, they kind of did that.
Or,
last year. I'm surprised they don't have anything to that's the one thing that kind of surprised me. It's like, we know Dragon Age has been in development. Like, you don't have anything to show? Like, even 30 seconds? Like, even a minute?
They should have had Casey Hudson being, you know, zoomed in, talking about the Anthem revamp they're doing with BioWare.
Yeah, like, the only thing that but I think July is supposed to be only first party, so, like, unless they're waiting for Gamescom to do a Dragon Age at one of those for Sony or Microsoft, like, I don't know. You know, maybe they just said, okay, well, there's other bigger events later, or there's at least Gamescom later, we can wait. And they just didn't want to rush BioWare into making something just to do it for this.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. I thought this was fine. I think, yes, you were certainly missing the huge game or whatever, but I feel like we're gonna see something before we're done with this summer game from EA. So, also, something we won't be seeing in the summer to early fall anymore is Cyberpunk 2077, as that's now been delayed to November 19th. So another 2-month delay for Cyberpunk. Well, it went from supposed to be coming out in April, right? April 20th to September 17th. We got the longer delay. Now it's been delayed even further to November 19th, which would put it right around the launch of, I mean, I think that at least one, if not both, the systems will have launched, if not that same week, a week before, because you can't imagine they're going to launch the week of Thanksgiving. So, or even after that, because you're going to want those Black Friday, like everybody, I mean, not that there's going to be systems for Black Friday anymore, but yeah, so basically, they came out and said that, they're still doing the Night City Wire thing, next week on the 25th. That's supposed to satiate you, for, knowing stuff about the game. And then, of course, sites will have their previews for it as well up after that will give you more information. And that's basically what they're going for. It's just this Night City Wire thing. Hopefully that's going to hold you over until now, November 19th. And they also announced that PS5 version is going to be working from day one if you buy it on PS4, and same thing for We Already Knew. If you buy it on Xbox One, it'll work on Series X. What do you think? Any conspiracy theories here?
My only theory is I don't think it's going to come out this year. Like, I think, if it didn't have COVID, it would have. I mean, I actually think, that Horizon, 2, that was supposed to be a launch
but
game.
they're a Polish studio. I don't think COVID's really affecting them as much as...
Well, you don't think they're, not working from home? No,
I do think that, but I think that Poland is not one of those places I'm hearing about crazy freaking COVID numbers.
But that's because no one cares about Poland, except for Cyberpunk.
Right, but I'm just saying, Sweden didn't shut down, and they kind of were okay, so...
No, they're not. Sweden is the one that's, shooting rapidly up.
Oh, now it is, I guess, but at first they weren't.
They were the Republicans of Europe, and bit them in the ass.
Yeah, I feel like it will get released. I get it that they need to keep delaying this just to make sure, because it's a huge freaking game. They don't want to have that game come out and then you're having to spend half the next year making it be the game it should have been.
Let me ask you about, because you just said it's going to be a huge game. What is your optimal, length of a game?
Honestly, as an adult now that has a job where I have to work 50 hours a week, even though it's from home, it's still a job where I cannot do anything.
Yeah, you're not talking on the phone and playing a controller in your hands.
Yeah, the only time is there was a day, I think it was yesterday, where it was slow between 2 and 4, and there was at least a minute or two between calls sometimes when I could actually play some Xenoblade while I was waiting, but that's rare, and that's only something on Switch. I cannot play something on my computer and be doing that. I can't turn around and, I guess I don't have my systems upstairs with me, because I want to have them on my big TV. The big TV's downstairs, so if it's not portable, I cannot do it while I'm working. So either way, it's honestly, Final Fantasy VII, the 40 hours, that's the most that, obviously less than that is okay, but when it gets more than 40 hours, it gets like Xenoblade for me, where it's oh my god, this feels like it's taking an eternity. It's almost about the month since that game released. Technically I should have beat it by now, but it's real life gets in the way. You don't have the time anymore for a huge game like that. So,
that's kind of my point. I don't need some, for me, I have more time, so I'd say 50 or 60 hours is fine. I don't mind replaying Persona 5 or Fire Emblem, especially now, since I can kind of skip through a lot of the initial bullshit. But I don't need some 200-hour game. That's my biggest problem with Assassin's Creed. It's this doesn't need to be this long.
Well, to be fair, I get it. This is almost like Rockstar, right? This is the European Rockstar. These are the games they make. They don't have the ability to make another game in a shorter span to get you to. They need you to be in their worlds for a long, 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 long time.
The difference is, I would say, with that analogy is, I can finish a GTA in I don't have to do every side mission in GTA. And honestly, there's not that much, there's not many of them to begin with. But also, it's the reason I didn't finish Witcher 3 is because the game just went on for way too long. And it's I'm done. I dropped 90 hours in that game, and I was still only a third of the way through. I'm good. I didn't get everything. I'm okay with that, though, because I just lost momentum with the story. That's the issue.
Well, but I think it's also that attention to detail that I also kind of make that illusion to them, too, of man, you really went through and
I think Cyberpunk will be different because I just like I like, sci-fi more than fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll help immensely. And also hang out with Keanu Reeves. But also,
like Witcher had a little bit of a story beforehand, right? You knew some of these characters from the first couple of games. It's not, but like Cyberpunk's a whole new world too.
Like The Witcher 2, at least, that was only like a 20 to 30 hour game. It wasn't a 200-hour game,
Yeah. But I think what helps again is like that just really making you feel like you're there and you're in it and it is like meant to immerse you. And I mean, the multiplayer, they were having to make it separate or whatever that is, right? It's multiplayer that they're doing separately. So like, and weren't they also going to make like a separate game in the world as well for Cyberpunk? Yeah. So like, I think this is, I mean, especially after seeing, what Witcher has been able to do with that first season on Netflix. I mean, this could become like its own little franchise thing for CD Projekt Red. I mean,
if it takes between 7 and 9 years for them to make a game, it's not exactly a fascinating franchise.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like Witcher 3 or 2 and 3, that was a pretty long time to begin with.
I feel like they'll hit it in November. I think I think it would have been good for them to come out in September and kind of get to be the talk of the town for the system's launch. But now they can sort of be the game that you associate. I mean, even though they're coming out on the older systems, they'll be that, I guess, Last of Us 1, Legend of Zelda, or Breath of the Wild, like, they'll be that last bastion of the old systems that your GTA, when it came out, of, oh, now I can play this on my new system and it's great on my new system now. So you don't have to have your PS4 run like a jet while you are popping in Cyberpunk 2077 for the first time. And they are saying, like, at the time we're writing these words, Cyberpunk 2077 is finished, both content and gameplay wise. They're just having to put the polish in there, the balance, the.
I mean, that's also a concern. Is like how well it's going to run on like a launch PS4 or launch Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is it. Also, right? They want people to be able to experience this great game. If you don't get it on PC, well, you're going to get to experience it on the freaking great PS5 and the great Series X. So, yeah. What do you think about the leak of the Series S that looks like a freaking mini version of the Series X? It's like a half the size, a white cube.
I didn't see that, but I mean, if it's going to be like that amount, that's much smaller, then that thing definitely is going to be that powerful.
Yeah, like, see, that's the thing too, right? Is like, so supposedly the rumor is it's not even 600, it's 500 and 400 for the PlayStation 5 stuff. Supposedly Microsoft is willing to even drop the Series X to 400. That's a rumor.
That'd be kind of crazy, but I mean, they really have to swing for a fence, get people to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I think, well, this console generation really got away from Microsoft, but I would say a larger issue that they had with this generation was they just didn't put out enough games. They put out, a Forza every year. That was kind of about it. Like,
so here's I just wanted to, cause it's something we should bump it up. So this is all based on a rumor by, Eastman, who supposedly has proven before that he has access to Microsoft's insider information. Again, like, this is stuff you're gonna hear all the way up till when this event happens in July, so just put that out there. But it wouldn't surprise me because Microsoft is probably the only company in the world that could possibly do this and take the bullet because they are a huge company and they can do it. But so here's the rumor. Supposedly, Xbox Series X will be half the price of the Series Series S will be half the price of the Series X. Come in a small form factor and be an all-digital console. That's not anything new. The insider doesn't know the final price of the Series X and the Series X, but he has heard that Microsoft's prepared to drop to the Series X to $400 if it has to. If the idea is that Sony's regular PS4 with the disc is $600 to $500, they may go into $400 for the Series X or just $500 to match, that would make the Series S $200. And of course the Series S would be announced at that July event, but also Microsoft is trying to make that July event like a night of mic drops, whatever that would mean.
They need to hire Elijah Wood back.
Yeah. Microsoft wants to be what Netflix was a few years ago when it comes to streaming and such, and they aim to acquire a lot of quality content for their platform. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do I guess, predictions when we actually know what day they're going to have that event in July. We know Ubisoft's doing theirs July 12th. But yeah, I mean, if this does wind up happening and we're talking about what the thing was originally, which is supposed to be 2K, so the Xbox One X can do 4K, right? I guess it should be able to do 4K, but then it's not going to have all the specs of the Series X, but it's going to be half the price. It's going to be $200.
Well, that's why people think it's going to be a streaming box.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between that and a PS4 digital, the PS5 digital, is you can still download a PS5 game, or it can just still run it.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a good network connection to install it or download it, but that's it. It'll play fine.
No, I don't think it'll be I just don't. I think that they'll just come out with something completely different that'll be for xCloud. I just can't imagine that you're gonna have a whole system you put in front of your TV that's. I still don't think that works right now. Stadia has proven.
It might not be 100% that, but it'll be a portion of that, especially if it's not feature compatible with, the Series X.
I wonder if that's an option, right? You either have the option to stream the game or you have an option to download it. It would have to be for Game Pass. I don't know that you could. I wonder how that would work if you're buying the game. I guess that could be a way to where they could not have to have a big hard drive put in that thing.
Yeah, right? But the different hard drives are cheap. That's not the.
Well, not hard drive. The space, right? Where you can have a 500 gigabyte storage.
Yeah.
And then you can still upgrade it with the NVMe if you want, but you can also circumnavigate that with streaming the games. So.
Well, my original point was this console generation got away from Microsoft in a big way. Primarily because they didn't have enough games. Mm-hmm. So that's more my concern about they're announcing Halo for this thing, the Series X, but that's not new. That should have been this generation.
Well, Halo Infinite, we still don't really know much about it, right? Other than, it's the next Halo.
Yeah, but think about the 360, or even they made 2 Halo games for the original Xbox and made 4 for the 360.
Yeah.
Actually, 5 if you count Halo Combat Evolved 1, the remaster, and they made 2 Halo games for this count for the Xbox One.
One of them wasn't really new; it was just a collection of all the other ones.
Well, that one also didn't work right, so it's they basically made 1.5 Halo games for 7 years, and it's what happened? And the same thing with Gears of War. They made two Gears games for this generation, and they were fine, but they didn't set the world on fire like Gears used to.
Yeah.
So that's more. I don't care about system specs. Xbox going we have 18,000 teraflops or whatever. It's okay. Do you have any games?
Right, but that's why they bought these studios.
Yeah, but they're not going to show. They're going to have announcements except for Hellblade 2. They're going to have this.
We don't know that though. And we know that Obsidian's doing Grounded, or that's theirs, right? Obsidian. So,
yeah.
So like that's unless they have another studio working on a different game. I mean, so we're waiting on whatever Exile's doing, and now the other we don't really know what all those other studios are doing. And yes, they don't have the pedigree of all these Sony studios, but that's though most of those studios have not had Microsoft money put in them either, and the ability to make whatever you want. I mean, go ahead.
I'm waiting for the Double Fine version of Halo.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, Double Fine, we know they're making Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
but
that's a cross-generational game, or, that'll be on everything.
Right, that's a game that we already know exists. I mean, it'll be cool. What is Double Fine going to do once they now can do their own thing and it's not tied to a series we already know about?
Brutal Legend 2, let's go.
That'd be cool. I mean, they could do it, I guess. So, like, I think that's the thing. It's a lot of unknowns, right? Could Microsoft do a little bit of what Sony did, where you get some of these studios to be like a second party? Do they drop the bomb about, they bought WB? I don't know. I think you're going to have to do something like that, though, because that's the thing is, you really need to show that you have a lot of different things ready, and it's really dicey right now because you don't know what I mean. You know that there's a Fable coming again, which that's something that they have in their pocket, right? Fable's getting rebooted. Forza is always there, but it's just like Gran Turismo. That's a certain subsect of people. Right.
I mean, that's like the one game that, like, Sony's behind. Is like, why? Like, you need to stop Gran Turismo. Like,
yeah.
If only Forza could be multi-platform.
But you're right. That's the only one. I mean, they still haven't proven that they know how to make a great, like, I mean, Halo's a shooter. Gears is a shooter. They still have not proven that they know how to make that, like, awesome action game like we've seen Sony do. Time after time after time after time. So.
Hey man, they had Sunset Overdrive.
I guess, but now they'll never have it again unless.
Yeah. I think they own the property, but they don't know. They're not
No, Insomniac owns the IP.
Wow.
But they have to have Microsoft's
okay or approval.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how that works. So.
I was just thinking back to that one E3 with Microsoft. They had that one conference and they were like, hey man, we got Phantom Dust, we got Scalebound, and...
Oh god, yeah, never... And then Phantom Dust randomly drops one day and no one gives two craps.
Well, because they just did a very cheap remaster instead of making a new game. They announced that they were going to do.
And then Scalebound gets canceled, and...
There was always one other game they announced that didn't come to fruition.
And supposedly Crash 4 is coming out October 9th. So there's that.
Yep.
But this is, we always want somehow and talking about what Microsoft's doing, but yeah. So let's talk about some older things deciding to become new again, with Kingdom Hearts and Pokemon both announcing games in the same week. Square announced Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is a rhythm game for Kingdom Hearts. 140 songs being made by the same team that made the Theatrhythm games, which, oh yes, I'm totally down because the Theatrhythm games are awesome. Those games, of course, came out on 3DS, so this would be the first Square Enix rhythm game for Switch.
No, they're going to still make it for their 3DS.
Yeah. This also apparently has some story tie-in with Kyrie, so like all of the other non-mainline games, this is going to have story, connotations to it. I'm down for this. Kingdom Hearts has some great music, so having a rhythm game associated with it is cool.
It has a good theme song. All the music is Disney crap, but like...
No, it has a lot of non-Disney stuff, too.
I mean, Hollow Bastion song is cool, but...
Yeah. I think the fun thing will be that there will be Disney... Hopefully there will be Disney stuff in there, so, you know, we'll see. Yeah, I'm happy that this is not like a mobile title. It's coming to Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. So I'm totally down with that. I'm surprised it didn't come out earlier than this, but I also didn't expect that this would be the first Kingdom Hearts game we'd see on Switch. I thought we would get all the collections, the all-in-one box or whatever, on Switch first.
No.
So, well, not 3, but they could definitely do 1, 2, and 2.8 and all that.
I mean, Switch. Maybe 2.8's pushing it a little, because that was still PS4, and that was a PS4 game, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, they've done Wolfenstein and Doom, and it's not like they haven't done it before.
Sure.
It's not like Kingdom Hearts is... Not like that Kingdom Hearts was super graphically intensive. I mean, the difference between what 2.8 looks like to what 3 looks like that's really upscale. They can't do 3 on Switch, but the other ones they could, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to be portable, cool, but I don't know. That's one, like, I'm big for buying the old Final Fantasy. I don't know that I would buy the Kingdom Hearts collection on Switch. That's not...
You'd buy it like day one. I know you.
No, I don't. Like, the Final Fantasy is different because, number one, they're budget priced other than 12.
Yeah, but if they just said, hey, here's every Kingdom Hearts game except for 3 for $40, you'd be like, alright, sold.
Maybe if it went down to like 30 or 20 something. I mean, like, I didn't buy that Remind thing.
That was a bad deal. That's why.
Yeah, like $30 for like 4 hours of game, and a lot of it's like retreading. Like, no, thank you. But I mean, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it's funny that you're like about this rhythm games, maybe like from Kyrie's point of view or whatever. It's like, who cares? Like,
no,
she's
people have been waiting for her to have her own game or her own like point of view where you got to play as her.
Okay, let's take that at face value. Isn't it kind of insulting for her as a character to have the dancing game?
It is. It certainly is. But you could make the case that Riku got the same thing where he got his time in I mean, yeah, you got to play as him partly in 2, I think it was. But most of you getting to play as him was in Dream Drop Distance, which is that 3DS game.
I mean, my other point would be like Kyrie is like a pretty pivotal character in like the first Kingdom Hearts game, but after that she gets pretty marginalized, doesn't she? Like,
no, yes, she definitely gets marginalized.
I'm not talking about
3.
Well, even in 3, like she's barely in that game. Like,
yeah, that was the point though. People got pissed. I got pissed. Like after you're sitting here, promoting that she got her own Keyblade and everything else, and then she
just hangs out with Axel all the time and some stupid island.
She was like, oh, you get to do nothing with her. Like, oh, great. Oh, and then you have to save her again. It's like, okay. And then it's like, I don't know. I mean, 3 was what it was.
Yeah.
I think it gets a lot more hate now after the fact.
Well, I always thought the story in that game was bad. I mean, the gameplay's fine. It's really easy. That's what I liked about it. But, like, the story is worse than Final Fantasy 15, you know?
Yeah, it's just... I don't think any of the other games... 3 just made all of the Disney stuff just absolutely... Some of it was just annoying, and then second, like, it is really... Some of those rules were... Like, I liked the Big Hero 6 world, I liked the Pirates of the Caribbean world, but some of the worlds were just like, oh my god, this is annoying.
It was the same problem, or I mean, same thing I didn't like about Kingdom Hearts 3 was they just went too modern with their worlds. Like, I don't care about Enchanted. Big Hero 6 was kind of interesting, but I didn't care about, like, Pirates of the Caribbean. Because they already went there once. It's like, do a classic world, or do something, like, at least new or interesting. Like, go to like, Darkwing Duck World or Gargoyles or something, not Pirates World once again.
Yeah. It's just a lot of it's disappointing.
Yeah. You liked it, that's what matters. And I like parts of it, so I don't think I'll play this thing.
Yeah.
You and Jens will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down for giving me a reason to hear all the Kingdom Hearts music. Yoko Shimomura is awesome, and all down for that. And also, talking about old things, Pokemon Snap has a new game after waiting for more than 20 years. This has been historically one of the most beloved spin-off games in Pokemon's history.
See, it wasn't brought on by some other company announcing they're making another photograph game. They just announced it and that was it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, how many games have had a photo mode? I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 freaking made
I'm not
the
talking
photo
about
mode.
I'm not talking about photo mode. I mean, that's the whole game. They didn't Natsume didn't announce Africa 2 months ago. And then
I mean, but honestly though, this is just an on-rails, picture game. I mean, it's not you really need, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, I don't think this is the best comparison because there's so many games where you can just go around taking pictures of stuff.
I mean, I don't care about photo modes. I mean, the whole point of the game, it's not like you get graded in Kingdom Hearts, what the photos you took. The only game I can think you did that was Eternal Sonata.
Yeah. I mean, what's cool about this is that it is going to feature Pokemon from all generations. I could see them. I really hope we're not going to eventually get more being added as DLC later.
I think you will, but it'll be free DLC.
I hope so because I already have enough with the people. I forgot to mention this at the beginning. So I've gotten 2 scares with my Switch in 1 week. I took my Switch with me to the barbershop because I thought, okay, well I might have to wait. So I said, okay, I'll just play some Xenoblade. I got there was nobody in there other than one other person. And so I didn't have to use it, so I took it for nothing. And instead of leaving it in my car, I'd already taken it with me. Instead of leaving it in my car, I had it in my pocket. And so of course, the Switch with the Joy-Cons on is really big. And part of it hung out of my pocket, one of the sides of the Joy-Cons. And so the left one, the blue one, because I have the blue and red one, that barbershop is really old school and they do not do debit card transactions. And so they have an ATM in there, but Chase charges me $5 if I use an ATM that's not theirs. So I had to go into the Winn-Dixie next door and do buy a piece of gum to do money back. Yeah. And so I didn't realize it, but when I got home, I went to go to the bathroom and I grabbed my Switch and the left Joy-Con was missing. And I freaked out. I went back to the barbershop, thought I had dropped it there. I went in the Winn-Dixie, asked if somebody had put in the lost and found. They said no. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to have to freaking order another Joy-Con.
Those things aren't cheap.
No, they're not. And thank God it wasn't the right one, because the right one's the one that has the home button. So I could technically still use it with playing it on the TV until then. But so I ordered it. I ordered the left Joy-Con. GameStop has them pre-owned for $35, which isn't too bad. But that you're just paying for one, obviously. Yeah. And then I had ordered it, and then 2 days later, while I'm working, my girlfriend's dad walks in and goes, "Is this that thing you were looking for?" And I was like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!" And so he found it in the grass, by somewhere a few feet from where the entrance to the back door is. Now the control stick has a bump where I guess either a lawnmower or something went over it. And also, I accidentally dropped my Switch when I was coming out of the bathroom 2 days after that. And then suddenly when I woke up yesterday it had like a blue line, like a faint blue line, I guess where the screen had cracked on the inside. And so like it hasn't gotten worse, I guess, because I don't ever use the touchscreen part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just there. That kind of sucks now. But, so I was like, oh shoot, that's the last thing I need is now I have to go buy another whole Switch. At that point, I just buy the Switch Lite and say, fuck it. But,
I'll take it back and say, like, sell it back to GameStop as used and then buy another Switch that way.
Oh yeah, I could probably do that, right? Yeah. But thankfully right now nothing has happened, knock on wood. That all it is just that line has stayed there, and as long as I don't drop it again or something, it'll...
Maybe time to invest in a nice case.
I have a case, but I don't have like a screen protector or anything like that, so probably should get one.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, going back to Pokemon Snap, sorry for that long story, people probably didn't care.
I was riveted.
It's just called New Pokemon Snap, and I mean, thanks Nintendo for, I guess, not having some weird-ass subtitle.
Yeah. You think they're going to re-release those Pokemon on printer stations that used to be in Blockbuster?
No, because now you can just put your pictures onto your phone, I guess, and go print them out at Walgreens.
Yeah.
Which that digital app is fantastic for that, by the way. If you're one of those people that's still going to the store, you don't need to do that. Just use their digital app. It's fantastic. Not that, Walgreens needed a free plug there or anything, but, yeah, so this is a new game, supposedly, with, different lands and supposedly featuring deserts, jungles, beaches, all that. They show a little bit of stuff in the trailer there, with the different Pokemon. So, hey, this is neat. Like, I'm totally down for this. This is gonna be like one relaxing game you can totally enjoy with your Pokemon there.
Yeah.
So, and that being said, that $35 that I guess I would have used, now I have to wait till the freaking Joy-Con comes to the house and then I have to send it back to get the refund. And then I'll be thinking about whether or not I want to get that Pokemon DLC or not.
You want to get Last of Us?
I don't know. I'm waiting.
Okay.
Well, it's like I'm trying to freaking get Xenoblade done so I don't have to... Because I don't want to have Last of Us and then I don't play it for like a month.
As opposed to the Pokemon DLC.
That's the thing too, is like I'm like, I don't want to buy the Pokemon DLC just to buy the Pokemon DLC and then I don't really care about it, So I'm thinking about whether I really want it or not.
Yeah.
Cause like, it came out and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that came out. Oh, yep. I don't really care. It's like, so I don't know. I haven't seen anybody just like totally raving about it either. Maybe
Last of Us or Pokemon?
The Pokemon DLC.
Oh.
I mean, also, like, Last of Us just came out as well, so everybody's kind of into that and everything, but, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Pokemon Snap, that's awesome that there's a new Pokemon Snap coming out.
Sure.
And, yeah, I'm happy to see that is releasing. They also released the Pokemon Brushing Your Teeth app as well. And there's a new Pokemon Cafe.
Yep. One of those springs every few months in Japan.
It looks really cute, the Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, I guess bigger news would be that they announced next week is also another Pokemon Presents. And if you look close enough at the picture with Mr. Ishihara behind him is a lot of different plushies. But a lot of the plushies are Pokemon that were in Johto. Of course, Gold and Silver, including the starters and the legendaries. So, ding ding ding, we might be getting a Pokemon Let's Go Johto, or Pokemon Let's Go Umbreon and Espeon, or I don't know. Pikachu something, because Pikachu's gotta be there somehow.
Well, he is kind of like one of the main characters or one of the main mascots.
Yeah, I mean, Like, you got Let's Go, right?
I got the EV one.
Did you end up, like, liking it, or?
I didn't get too deep into it. I think it'd be like the first or second gym leader, and then I kind of quit. Or, it just got overwhelming at a certain point. That's fine. I mean, like I said, I prefer like Jade Cocoon. Like, I think that's just a more relaxed setting personally, but you never played that, and most people don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It just got old. I'm not a Pokemon Go person, so that whole,
I don't have that. And then that Pokemon Ball thing I kind of wanted, but I thought it was like way too expensive.
I mean, I got the ball, and it was cool. Like, I liked it. Like, with Anaya, her getting the accuracy, she was throwing the ball and all that stuff. That was neat. Like,
I remember like not the motion controls, but like flicking the screen control, like to throw the ball also sucked ass.
Oh yeah, using the Joy-Con?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I wound up just playing it portably because it was so much easier to just catch stuff.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I know that that's the whole point of these things. But I really just would like, if you just have the option to level up with, I don't know, random battles as well. Sure. Like, that's what I thought they would have done with this one, is to give you the option to do either or. So maybe they'll do that, is that you have the option of either or.
Yeah.
But part of me just feels like they're going to continue that tradition, and it's going to be full on, much like the first one.
I wouldn't surprise me. They're not known for evolving, pardon the pun, their gameplay styles that much.
Well, and also, like, once they get set in a certain way, they don't change.
Yeah.
Much. Like, okay, this is what this series is. It doesn't matter if the adults, that play Pokemon like it. It's about the kids.
Yeah, it's not meant for kids. It's not meant for adults, really.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's still people on the internet today, like I just saw it a couple of days ago, people arguing about, no, these are for adults. These are for the people that played Red and Blue. Like, these are not for kids. Like, it's like, no, yes, they are for kids. Where do you think all the merchandise is for?
You're going to the cool places on Reddit, aren't you?
No, it's on Twitter. It's like, it was inside a thread about discourse about Last of Us Part 2 and what it means to be reviewing games in 2020, I guess, whatever.
You start following some certain people.
No, it's just like, that discourse was interesting too, the whole way Naughty Dog did how you could review that game, what you could say and what you couldn't say for embargo.
Okay.
Well, like, it was weird. You could talk about this thing, but you couldn't talk about that thing. You could talk about this thing, but you couldn't talk about that. It's like...
I mean, other games have done that also, so I mean, it's not a huge surprise.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like, why won't you let people just talk about your game the way they want to talk about it?
I remember, like, when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, like, they didn't want reviewers to talk about, like, the Jack reveal, which is, like, the whole damn point of the game. Like, you don't play... Metal Gear Solid 2 is, like, you play Snake for, like, 10% of that game. Jack is the other 90%. Or Raiden, I could say, sorry.
Yeah, I guess. I understand that, like, not having spoilers, but it's like, yeah. I mean, this has been the week of announcing things, so it's been neat. There was the whole Guerrilla Collective thing, the PC gaming thing.
Yeah, so I saw some of that, but I don't know, it's weird. IGN crashes my computer, so I can't,
yeah,
go on there too often.
And speaking of events, finally PAX West also announced, PAX announced that PAX West and PAX Australia will be all digital. Yep. After trying to say that they were going to actually take place, due to the pandemic and especially now with rising cases again, probably wasn't going to be a smart thing to do at this point. So
could have had it in Michigan,
right? That's where you would have been doing it at. So now PAX will be the next thing. They'll be all digital. Like Gamescom will be later in August as well. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, anything that you saw out of those other events, I guess you want to talk about, or?
I mean, we can go into it later on, but the two big ones I saw was, I thought Humankind looked pretty cool. That's like the new Civ game by Amplitude. They did Endless Space and Endless Legend, and Endless Legend I really like. It's a 4X game, but it's like, it's like a historical Civ game, kind of. it's basically like Civ 5 or Civ 6, but it looked really neat, except for the really bad trailer music. It was some cover of some 70s song that sucked.
Yeah.
And I thought, Torchlight 3 might be interesting, but I've not heard great things about it.
Yeah, Torchlight 3 looks... I saw that at the PC Gaming Deal. It's decent.
I guess the common complaint I saw, I think Destructor already reviewed it, like the early access build, and they were just like, this feels like a very weird mobile port, like a free-to-play game, because it was. So it's like, yeah. Like, I guess it's like really simplified compared to like Torchlight 2 or even like the first one. And it's not a lot changes, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's also early access, so you hope that they can bolt more shit onto it eventually.
Yeah, certainly. I think as more people pick up the game, it's like, same thing that happened with, I got an early access build of Temtem, and it kind of felt
that was very much like, like early access, or hey, we're working on it,
Yeah, and then they announced all these other things that they want to be able to do later on this year, which I haven't really gotten back into it after like March. So, also that game felt really super grindy, and I was just like, I'm kind of Pokemon'd out right now.
But the other, this came out finally in early access, but that Hard Space Shipbreaker game has gotten some pretty good buzz.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about it. It looks like people are super into it. So that's...
And it's only $20, which is not a bad deal.
That's not bad at all. No.
It's funny because like one of the things they have in the game is, I guess, like procedurally generated ships. Like, they have pieces of ships and the game just builds a ship, out of the pieces. And it's like, okay. That's what I want for House Flipper. Like, I am done with House Flipper. I've built every house or sold every house and did every job. I can literally do nothing else in that game right now because all the jobs are done. Like, I want them to have like a random house generator,
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that. So I have this game installed that it's kind of pointless,
I did watch more of the Scarlet Nexus gameplay. That looks pretty neat for being an anime game, but of course still has that Dark Souls-y vibe to it as well. Like, God, why can't I think about it right now?
Yeah.
Jens' favorite game.
Code Vein.
Code Vein, yeah. Anything else that you liked?
What else? The other two things I said were Remnant, from the Access DLC is coming out. It looks very Norse mythology focused.
Oh, that's awesome.
But there's also like some big gopher or gerbil that looks huge, I don't know what the hell it is. And there's a game called 30XX coming out, which looks like Mega Man X4 crafted the Metroidvania.
Yeah, Randy reviewed 20XX for us.
Yeah.
And he liked it a lot. He's a big Mega Man fan, so I showed him the 30XX, and he's like, oh, dude, that it's like they evolved it even more. That's pretty awesome. So, yeah, that's exactly what they did. Now we're doing Mega Man X with this, which... There's been
a fan game called Mega Man X Corrupted that was supposed, they've been showing trailers to that thing for years and it's never come out yet. So, but it kind of reminded me of that, some, like, new game or new, iteration of like Mega Man type of gameplay.
Always down for more things like that. I'm surprised as hell Heroes of the Storm got character reveals.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's just funny because like that
still
game,
going on.
Yeah, like didn't they abandon it like 2 years ago or?
That's what I thought too.
I've been playing Overwatch every day. Like, maybe like a round or two. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, it's making you play Overwatch again, just cause.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad first-person shooter, and I like playing certain characters in that game, so that's the real reason.
Yeah, it's always good. You said about Planet Coaster coming to...
It looks fine. Like, we'll see. I just don't... I want to be able to create stuff, but I just don't have it in me. Like, SimCity or Cities XL or City Skylines or Planet Coaster was reasonably good with that, but I just don't have that type of creativity.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like, I'll try to make like an ordered city and like city skylines or like Sim City, and I just can't do it, and everything is turns to shit eventually.
Yeah, I'm just not that kind of person.
Yeah.
So that's never been appealing to me at all.
Even games like, Mario should have appealed to me, but like I really didn't like the creation tools in Mario Maker 2. So
yeah, that's different.
Damn. One of these days I'll get Dreams and I'll play for an hour and then I'll regret my purchase.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, because I'm sure Dreams is fine. I haven't played the beta for a while, but it's just like, I can't create shit. So, like, all I'm going to be doing is playing some guy's version of, like, Astroneer or something, or, Lunar Lander. It's like, cool. Remember, Project Spark, the Xbox One?
Yeah, that thing just... And they tried to make it a big deal when they put Conquer in.
Yeah, they tried to make Conquer a big deal, and except for the one guy on the site, like 9 other people, no one cares a shit about Conquer.
Yes, Robert loves it's just a running joke when we get to make fun of her liking Conquer.
Like, why not make a new Croc game while you're at it?
Well,
Oh, also, the other funny thing about the EA thing, the last funny thing, is they showed a trailer for Command & Conquer Remastered, and it's like, that game's out. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess they wanted to make sure people knew it existed.
There's I really want to get it, but it sold out instantly. But there was like $160 special edition with limited run games with that thing.
Command & Conquer?
Yeah, it's so nice looking. It came with like a model tank and like all this extra crazy shit. It's like, oh man, I want that so bad.
Maybe you'll find it in the store somewhere for a lot less.
No, I think this was actually fairly limited. Like, well, it's part of their name, but you don't typically see like limited run games in like GameStops or, like there's also PC games. So, even if it was someone sold it, it'd be useless.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you're not. What does it just have? The digital version? Yeah, so it doesn't have a disc.
No, I think this has a disc, but it still has a CD key. So it's like, well, this is now useless. Someone used that probably. So
I guess you could just
buy
it just to have that.
Right.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for us here.
Sure.
If you like what you heard, you could always hit subscribe. And you'll get our show whenever it does come out. Sorry for not keeping the schedule of twice a week. I kind of felt like, well, since we know the EA thing's happening, might as well just wait till then. And then this time we do have an expo happening the day that the show should come out. So, yeah, we'll have something to talk about there. But yeah, stay safe, folks. Don't go crazy and be going a million places without masks on, and yeah, keep playing those video games, and we'll see y'all later.